Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Jordan. I did miss you guys. I am sick right now. This video concept was most popular a couple weeks ago, so I brainstormed and compiled a list, pretty general, of things that I would like to ditch and leave behind, as well as things that I would like to implement and integrate more into my routine. So let's get into it. My first in is honoring my need for rest. Talking to y'all, that's not a burden, really, truly. I am resting. I have been giving myself more grace and declining things that I don't have the capacity for as well. Like, I'm realizing as it relates to like businesses or providing a service for others, they don't care about your well-being. 9 times out of 10, most of the time, their objective is to make a profit, to get the job done no matter what toll it takes. It is ultimately like up to me to put myself first in any given situation and to know myself well enough to be able to tell when I'm operating from like a deficit of energy. A lot of times I will bend over backwards to make sure that I can honor my commitment. I think I just know what it's like to be disappointed as it relates to having people not follow through. So I never want to be that person. I want to be dependable, I want to be reliable, and I want to show up. You know what I'm saying? After practicing saying no more, or I can't make it, or I don't know if I'll be able to squeeze in that trip or whatever, I realized that the responses are typically very gracious. People don't really care that much, and I should know that it's like not a huge deal if I can't do something because of my response to people when they tell me like, oh, I won't be able to make it. I'm like, girl, don't sweat it, we'll reschedule. It's nothing. And I mean it sincerely. Like, I don't care. Like, I might just be relieved, you know, that we can like cancel and revisit later. I don't personally care, so I just stopped holding myself to this like crazy superwoman standard as it relates to showing up. So yes, resting is in for me. My first out is pride. You guys, I don't know what's got into me. I don't know. I do know actually. I've just been in a really mushy mood. Like, I think that like being stoic or callous comes with time, like an age, after having experienced, you know, so many different situations that make you have to be defensive and have your guard up. It's abnormal to meet people that are willing to put their cards on the table, to be expressive, to be open, to risk getting hurt or being embarrassed or being rejected. I personally admire those people so much, and I have been trying to be that person because what I've learned as it relates to like expression and vulnerability is that all it takes is one person to like break the mold or break the ice. 9 times out of 10, it will be well received. Do you know what I mean? Whatever it is, whether it be a compliment, because life is too short. Y'all could be play pretend cool if you want to. My next in is creating rituals. So I know that ritual has a real definition and we just throw that word around. We have things that are routinely driving to work, things that you don't really have to think about, but then we have rituals, which to me, when I use that word, I mean it in the sense that it's a practice or a thing that you're doing with like intention and presence, and you're putting love into it. Do you know what I mean? So an example would be like taking salt baths, making my latte at home, like, you know. And what I found with like having these rituals, things that you do with like focus, is that it makes you more resourceful and more thankful. I've just been trying to slow down more and do things for myself that bring me joy, as opposed to always outsourcing everything and just doing things out of habit. My next out is setting my price point low. No matter what it is, what industry, what field it is that I am doing, I have been raising the price on everything, but it's justified. And that's the difference. That's something I want to talk about. Self-love, knowing your worth and things, that's popular right now. And a lot of people's prices are shooting up. But one thing that people can tend to forget is that whenever you do raise the bar, it weeds out people that aren't serious. It weeds out BS clients and people that don't value your time or theirs. So with obtaining a new caliber of clients, you have to step your game up too, because what justifies the price spike? You know what I mean? So personally, I try to keep myself in check as it relates to how well I'm performing, but I perform well. Whatever I'm doing, I do my very best. So I value my time and my energy. Time is money. And the thing about most of these major industries, you're watching this on YouTube. We'll use YouTube as an example. Say a brand wants to partner on something. 9 times out of 10, this is a multi-million-dollar brand. So much money, like they have the money. Modeling, I think, is what has taught me to push the envelope a little bit more. Once you start working with people that have a large budget and they don't care, they value your time as much as you do, it's really hard to backtrack and sell yourself short. What's crazy is it only goes up from there. Creating that buffer for myself and getting paid enough to make it worth it. I'm just making things worth my while. It has to be worth my time. I'm not going out of my way to do things for pennies on the dollar in this economy. It's not happening, you know? My next N is radical accountability. I say radical because no one is coming to save me. That is the realization that I've come to. And there's really no use of crying over spilled milk. So I just learned that accepting things that transpired and doing everything in my power to transcend and rise above it, that's all I can do. And it yields the best result. I'm gonna keep rising. I gotta keep going. Do you know what I mean? I'm all about forward movement and progress. So the longer that we like mope and point fingers and stuff, the problem still remains. So I'll be the one to fix it, because the longer that it's unsettled, it's affecting me, you know? So I just think that radical accountability is in. My next out is conflating quality time with entertainment and spending money. This is a loaded one, so I'll try to explain. I think that our culture, I say our culture, I don't know where you're from, but in America, you know, everything's about like consumerism, entertainment. I'm not saying like if it's like a special occasion, we just sit and color on the floor. I'm saying I really appreciate quality time, and to me, I have the best experiences in environments that aren't overstimulating. Like I like to be present with my friends, family, whatever, and be able to hear them. Like we be doing all this to like connect with people and be in settings where you can't even hear them over the music. You're like, huh? What? Like, I'm just saying I would like to do more nature related activities, more calming things, work out together, we can bake together, we can just take a nap. Like, I don't know, I'm starting to really appreciate the little things. They're the big things to me. Like at the end of the night when my head hits the pillow, I think about the most mundane parts of my day. I'm just a simple girl, but I love nice things. Don't get it twisted. A lot of the things on my list are about slowing down, I'm realizing. I think that's the era that I'm in. I'm kind of over the ripping and running, you know? My next N is giving people their flowers. I just feel like it's really bold to assume that we have so much time. And also I think that we may look at like people who've reached a certain status, or people that are gorgeous, or people whatever, and assume that they have so many people telling them that, you know? They may not. Like some people may have climbed to the level that they did with no support system, no one in their corner to like remind them who they are, remind them of their strengths and what they see in them, and reflect light back to them. I feel like there are so many people speaking death and like negativity. It's so easy to find discouragement if you need it, or to find like slugs and shady comments if you need it. I feel like there aren't that many people speaking life and pouring into people. I just think it's so lame to withhold love. That's what it is. I do not want to withhold love. There's like not enough love in the world. Why would we like be like I'm not gonna tell her that I like her outfit, I'm not gonna tell him that. That's so lame. My next out is not sharing my perspective or thoughts. I know you guys, oh, my thing's about to overheat. I know you guys probably think that I'm like very vocal or whatever, and I am with y'all, but it took me a long time to gain confidence in my voice and to be able to speak my truth and double down on it, because I feel like a lot of my opinions and thoughts are different from like most people, so I've always been outnumbered in my thoughts, so I would like keep them to myself, if that makes sense. But there have been so many receipts and things that have transpired in the past couple years that have affirmed to me that not only do I be knowing what I'm talking about, sometimes I'm even ahead of my time. I'm not gonna hold you. My thoughts and beliefs and values back then proved to have been justified and correct. I'm always open to growing and learning and evolving as new information is presented. You know, I'm always a student to life, but I have come to realize that my input is valuable. Why not share something that could potentially help someone else, or I could break down a concept that would have otherwise been kind of murky. You know, I'm just getting more comfortable expressing, and you guys commenting and interacting has really helped me to find my voice. So yes, love YouTube, love my girls. My next N is making time and sacrifices for God. Y'all, the things I be asking God for, it's not like, oh God, let's have a good day today. I be asking him for like a house, a husband, all these different things. God is like, you can't even take 10 minutes to hear from me in the beginning of the day. You can't even sow a seed to the place where you're being spiritually fed in order to get a greater return. Like, you can't even do that. You know what I'm saying? I've just been really humbling myself before God because I'm realizing that most things do not come without a sacrifice. It's like, what are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up going out on Saturday night in exchange to going to church on Sunday morning to potentially get a word that gives you the missing puzzle pieces, you know? I'm trying to reciprocate because I'm thankful. I'm so thankful for everything that God has blessed me with to this point. And the only way that I could really repay God is with my time, with my efforts, things like that. I have been putting in more time and making more sacrifices to be able to get a word from God and to connect on a deeper level. I want my steps to be ordered and to be covered and in alignment. Do you know what I mean? And it's hard to stay in alignment when you're so easily tugged in different directions. So time and sacrifices for God are a major end for me. If it got darker, my camera is overheating, so let me wrap this up. My last out is inaction. Inaction gotta go. If you wait until you're ready to do most things, you will be waiting for the rest of your life. Like, sometimes you just have to jump off the porch. Nip said, jumping off the porch where your faith at. Jump off the porch. There was a quote that I read that ties in with what I'm saying. It was, the cold water doesn't get warmer just because you jump late. Teetering on the edge, either way, you're gonna have to plunge into the discomfort. You're gonna have to plunge into the cold water and figure it out. You can learn on the way. We learn as we go. Experience is the best teacher. You know what I'm saying? That there's only so much you can calculate and plan for without doing it, you know? And even then you might find that your plan was BS anyways and that you're redirected. Like, but you have to just go for it and trust that you're being led. Do it scared, like push forward without seeing how things will pan out. Just keep taking steps forward, and God hasn't failed me yet. So I'm gonna keep stepping forward on faith, but inaction is out. Period. But anyways, guys, that was my last one. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. I don't feel good. I need to lay down. But don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's down below. Like and subscribe. See you next time.